Welcome to MGT568, Leadership and Difference. I'm really pleased to be your subject convener for this session. My name's Hetty Bryant, Dr. Hetty Bryant, and I just want to give you a bit of an overview of the subject, a little bit about myself and the way that we can work together. So the subject aims to stimulate your thinking about your own and others' identity and difference in the context of your leadership practice. So it's very practically oriented as well as theoretically. So you'll be encouraged to reflect objectively on your current leadership practices and those of others. So the construction of difference and how differences between people are mobilised is one of the key challenges facing leaders today in the 21st century. And this subject, difference and leadership, explores theories of difference and diversity from the business perspective as well as critical and philosophical perspectives. So it's not just from that perspective, it's from a number of perspectives that you'll look at it, and also from the personal perspective as well. So you'll be encouraged to examine your challenges, the drivers and strategic issues that you face when working interculturally and globally. And a lot of you I know do work globally and work with virtual teams, etc. So there'll be stuff in here in the subject about that as well. And issues of structural, cognitive and behavioural diversity will be explored through theory and some case studies. The subject compares and contrasts interdisciplinary leadership concepts, perspectives and theories to help you apply conceptual material to practical organisational challenges, so that's in your workplace, arising when wanting to work together effectively and respectively across lines of difference. So it's a little bit different from just a straight diversity and leadership subject, although your text is titled Leadership and Diversity. It's really about how we value and work with people who are different from us and work with difference, not just diversity, okay? Because people can be very similar to us in some ways, but cognitively and behaviourally, they would be different. So because I am a facilitator first, I actually like to identify ways of working together. So this is really, the underlying narrative for this subject is about difference and valuing diverse perspectives and allowing everyone to contribute their unique identity. And so that's how we'll learn together as well. So I'm using a number of guiding principles that come from the Institute of Cultural Affairs and the International Association of Facilitators. The first one is everyone has wisdom. The next is we need everyone's wisdom for the wisest result. Everyone will hear and be heard. That means everyone gets a chance to hear, and that includes when we're in the chat room on the online meeting. There are no wrong answers, they're just answers, okay? So ask any questions that you like and any answers that that we can explore together as well. And the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. I use these all the time, and I encourage you to use them as well in your own work practices. I also encourage you to participate in the weekly discussion forums. We'll also have a think space for you to develop your portfolios, and there's information about that under ePortfolios. So I think it's really important that you actually develop a think space or an ePortfolio, but we'll talk about that more as, from week 1, okay? The other thing is, if you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to contact me. It's my email address is hbryant@csu.edu.au, and it's also on the homepage and under contacts. My phone number is 02 6338 4162, and of course you put a 61 in front of that for the country code and take the 0 off in front of the 2. I do work part-time, but I'll always respond to you mostly very quickly by email. However, if you call, it might be, anywhere up to 3 days, but normally it's more likely a day. Okay? Now, I just wanted to give you a little bit of an overview about me, because I think it's really good for us to locate ourselves in difference. And whilst I've had lots of epiphanies along the way. The one thing that I can say about myself is that I am white, and I can say that I come from white privilege. And we'll talk more and more about privilege in the subject. I come from Sydney originally, from a lovely leafy suburb in Sydney, in New South Wales in Australia. I'm one of 3 girls, and I'm the middle one. And my family background is quite an interesting mix, mostly Irish and Scottish heritage, but I also have a great Samoan grandmother, and her name was Noah, and she was the first Samoan settler in New Zealand and the Bay of Islands. So that's my claim to any cross-cultural heritage when it comes to that. So Polynesian. I worked for many years. My first degree was in agriculture, so I worked for many years for the Department of Ag, particularly in vertebrate pest control, chasing feral pigs out in western New South Wales, and then working on exotic disease preparedness. And then I got a Masters of Environmental Management and worked in catchment management for some time, and then went back to working with the Commonwealth Agriculture Department, working on the establishment of the Australian Wildlife Health Network, which is what I did, responding to Australia's issues of exotic diseases that could come in through feral animals, through wildlife, to domestic animals, to humans, etc. And that's what I did before I came to CSU, and I've been at CSU for about 15 years now. Worked in the professional stream for most of that time, for about 14 years, working in leadership development and organisational change. And my last role in 15 and 16 was the Manager of Diversity and Equity. So I'm very well versed to actually teach this subject, and I also coordinate the Leadership for Women program that's run for women at CSU. So that's a little bit about me. You'll be getting to share yourself and who you are in your first assessment, but I'll give you more information about that when we get to week 1. So welcome everybody. Really great to have you in the subject, and I'm really looking forward to working with you this session. Cheers.